Hi everybody and welcome to another edition of the Spartan Sports Report. Sam and I are here on TV3 along with Brent Duncan of CHS, and congratulations on a sectional operation. Went pretty smoothly, I thought.
Yeah, knock on wood. I think everything came off without a hitch for the most part. So only on short stick, we weren't on the top of it. So that happens in sports. You never know. So
it's a big job, but went well except for one thing, and I guess I'll mention that.
I think it went well. I haven't had anybody say differently yet. So
yeah,
had a few compliments about having it back in the bowl from not our people, but from other people. So
good.
We'll see where that goes in a couple of years. So
the Greensburg on Friday night, the Greensburg radio people, the one guy said how much he loved coming to Spartan Bowl. It was the best place that they come to all year. And I said, well, we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, I already heard from one of their central office people that they're excited to be back in what I think he said the barn. He called it the barn. So we'll see. We'll be back at Greensburg next year. Then we'll be up for revote the year after, and we'll see where that goes. Maybe I'll stand a little firmer. So we'll see.
When these Greensburg people finally go home, I was there for 45 minutes. After
I left
the game
at 10.
and
Last one rolled out the door at 10.
They didn't start taking the nets down yet when I left.
No, it took a while. So I think I rolled out at 10 o'clock. So shortly thereafter. So
You had them a pretty good-looking trophy.
unfortunately, it went to the blue and white, not the red and white. So, but maybe next year at their place we'll get it back. Or
You gave away a couple basketballs too, didn't you?
Yeah, runner-up gets a ball, and the winners get a ball. So
Okay.
the winner got the actual game ball, and the runner-up got the one we didn't use. So maybe I should have done it the other way, but you might as well get the ball you were playing with. So.
Our cameraman kept trying to chase a player around who had the trophy. He didn't want us to see it, I guess. I mean, he walked away from the cameraman as he was trying to take a picture of it and everything. So
This must be top secret. So there are lots of things that are secret that I can't talk about. So
how many trophies look like that when the outline of the state? And it's a regional, semi?
yeah, they're all the same.
Until
except
you
for
get
the
to the final.
state final, and it's a lot bigger, but it's still
That's
the
what I thought,
shape
yeah.
of the state. Just one's a little smaller than the other one.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
but they all look similar to that one
I
until we
thought
get
so.
there. So.
Yeah. It's a nice-looking trophy with the outline of the
It does
state.
have the Pacers and the Fevers logo on it because they're sponsors of the basketball tournament. I think Indiana's about the only state in the nation that has the NFL, NBA, the
Sure.
WNBA, and I think once the Indy 11 get their stadium built, everything's at a professional stadium with the exception of a few. Cross country's at the Big Ten Championship course in Terre Haute, and softball state finals are at Purdue University Diamond, and baseball, of course, is at Victory Field. So it's a nice venues for all of our kids to play.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. Well, it was a well-run tourney. The weather cooperated pretty well, and I think the fans showed up pretty. As expected. I mean, we couldn't.
Yeah, the last night was a little bit on the thin side, but
Sure.
some of that's just the product of the people coming and if they're going to bring fans or not. So if we would have been there, obviously, it would have been a lot bigger crowd and been closer to a 5,000 filled stadium. Instead, I'm not sure we had a 11 or 1,200 in there on Saturday night. So.
I think probably that. But Greensburg had a good showing.
Yeah, they did. And, South Dearborn wasn't very big on either, but Greensburg had a decent crowd on Friday. And South Dearborn hadn't won a sectional game since 2010, so they got 2 wins this year, and then hadn't won a title since 1995. So you'd think maybe they would come and bring a big crowd with the anticipation that you might knock off who would probably be the favorite overall if you look at the 7 teams that were in.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I think if the shoe was on the other foot and we were in the championship game at Greensburg, that their gymnasium would have been full.
Yeah, we're kind of
that.
We're kind of that anomaly school with basketball. It doesn't matter where we're at, as long as we're playing well and good competition, our fans are going to come. So next year when we're down there and we make it to the final game, and I'm sure the Greensburg barn is what I think you called it, will be packed with Spartan fans. So.
Greensburg's a pretty solid team, don't you think?
Yeah, they have 5 or 6 guys that are pretty good, and unfortunately for us, we had one that was hurt that could guard the Wellage kid, and when you don't have that one kid, Ethan, that can help guard him a little bit, you got to help off a little bit more, and he's good enough to find the open guys, and they're good enough to put the ball in the basket. So
3 guys in double figures. In fact, 2 guys with 20-plus a game. So.
Well, you notice they don't have too many that score anyway. There's only about 3 or 4 that actually
That's about
score.
it. I think they had.
But a bad thing is they all can score.
Yes.
When they need to, those 4 can get whatever they need to get if they need to get it. So.
Yeah. I was impressed with the Pirates. I thought they played better Friday night than they did during the season. We played them in January.
Yeah, and I think just the change in who we had on our team and who was able to get on the floor makes a little bit of difference of how we can guard them. So.
Yes.
But the kids played hard, and unfortunately we didn't make as many buckets and didn't get to the free throw line as often as we needed, and probably had a few extra turnovers that we didn't need to have, and all those things add up in the long run to 2 points here, 4 points there, and you're behind, and it's hard to catch up to a team like Greensburg. It's good enough to keep you off the offensive end and make you play a little defense. So
I had the Pirates shooting 71% from the field, and I think they were 23 or 28 from the free throw line. So you're going to be successful when that happens.
Yeah, when you look at the two stats from both the teams on that night, the shooting from both squads was very good. Overall, I think we just ended up with a few more turnovers than we needed to have, and that made the game go lopsided. So, and then of course we had to foul at the end and try to get the ball back, and they made free throws. So,
TV3 is at the game, and here's some highlights from that game.
Fun atmosphere.
well, you can tell there's a big difference between the crowds when we're playing, and no offense to the other teams, it's just a different atmosphere for us in basketball compared to the other 6 schools that we're in. I've been places where Batesville and Greensburg's had big crowds, and got off to a good start early. We're up 4-0, and we just kinda into a lull spot.
Yeah, and then they 11-0 run.
I think we had some good looks, and we just didn't make the buckets. And when you don't make the buckets, and they capitalize on it, it makes the score go a little lopsided, a little quick. Yeah. Cut it down to 7 late in the third quarter, and they got the next 6 points, I think. So
it's you see that a lot. Teams that battle back and get competitive, get within range, and then a break here or a break there, and then they just can never get that back.
Well, you hope when you're making that run, you get to lead.
Yes.
And then once you get to lead, it helps a little bit.
Especially with our style of play. Once you get that lead, our kids, and Coach Brown always does a good job of spreading the floor and getting the high percentage shots.
Yes, there's nothing like controlling the game, but to do that, you have to have the lead. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're not ever going to be out of the games, and we're not necessarily always going to put teams away, but with a big victory over margin-wise. So, but we had it down to 38-31 and had a chance to get it closer. And
yes.
we just didn't capitalize when we needed to make a make the little run. We ended up 41-34 at the end of the third quarter, and then we just couldn't find a bucket and couldn't find a stop. So, and Clay hit this right at the end of the buzzer.
Yep.
At that point, you're 7 down, and I think they have the ball to start with, and we need to make a stop, and we didn't get it made, I don't think. But you got to commend the 5 seniors and their job they did. Katie on the bench as the manager, those guys did a good job with all of them.
Yeah, they did. Just saw Jacob there that series before, and hate to see him go, the big guy. He's meant a lot to this team. Hate to see any of those kids go, but he's been honored by being selected to all-star team, and well-deserved, I think.
And you hope the kids that are underneath of them will put the time in over the summertime and the next year or two to get themselves bigger, as well as doing lots of other sports. You don't want them to specialize, so we can use them in all of our sports.
Players are made in the summertime, too, is what they say. And
yeah, and I think all of our coaches do a good enough job of separating out practice time so they have opportunity to get to anything they want to really get to. You always hear, well, coach says I got to go here or I got to be at this sport, and they really do work well with each other to let be. I know we've had cross country kids that have been basketball players, and halfway through workouts they leave to go run the cross country practice, or they left to go to baseball practice or whatever happens to be your workout. So you hear lots of things about people saying don't do this and don't do that, but I don't always think it's true. So.
Well, I think certainly a lot of talent coming back next year, but those kids are going to have to work hard to fill those spots that are vacant.
Well, there's kids coming back, with some upperclassmen, and of course, obviously the kids will be sophomores will throw in the mix somewhere. But you know, you hope they put the time in that it's going to take to get better. You know, I think some people see that we've had a lot of kids come through the middle school with great records, and they get up here, it's not quite as easy because the talent's a little bit different. And I don't think people understand that when they see somebody come through we've had many school teams come through the middle school that are undefeated or just have 1 or 2 losses for 2 years. And that doesn't necessarily pan out at the high school because competition gets a little different.
And kids develop differently.
Find different interests.
The speed of the game, I mean, you throw freshmen and sophomores in playing against seniors, and speed of the game is a lot different.
Speed of the game, strength of the kids, ability to play, unless you're just that one anomaly that comes along and is the freak of nature, as they so to speak, and is just a little bit better than everybody else. But, you know, it doesn't mean you can't get better in the summertime, just with all of our sports. So. But it takes the summertime commitment of being with your friends and your buddies going through the grind, and whether it's football or baseball or track or tennis or whatever it happens to be, to go through that with everybody, both male and female. So some of our kids get that and some of them don't. So
what we've seen with Coach Brown over the years, if you're willing to put in that time and work hard, he seems to get the most out of the talent that he has.
Yeah, and I think we're getting more and more coaches that will do that with him. So, you know, and it's not just a basketball thing. You know, Coach Bloom gets the tennis kids out there, and you know, we got to get the golf kids out on the golf course, and the track kids need to be doing things in the summertime, working on their skills, and the pole vault, and the shot put, and the discus. And there are people that are willing to help them if they're willing to come out and put their time in. So, and that's where you know, I always used to say you make the player in the summertime, and you showcase what you learned in the wintertime. So you just kind of fine tune it and hone it in the wintertime, because you don't have time to teach them something new. That's what you got to do from the time you get knocked out of the tournament till the time it starts the next season, and all sports. You can't just be a seasonal athlete anymore.
No.
So that's swimmers, gymnasts, you name it, cheerleaders, Spartanettes. You got to dance. You got to do the things you got to do. So get bigger and stronger and get in the weight room. And we want all of them in there, including the dancers and the cheerleaders, to be stronger and be better with what they do. So we'll see. They have the opportunities to be there, so whether they take advantage of it.
You've assembled a great coaching crew, though, I think, out of CHS. I mean,
we're working on it. We're always looking to.
All the coaches.
I think they all care about our kids, and I think they all
Yes,
have the best interest at heart. And,
Sure.
you don't see any that's not willing to come out and help them. So
Yeah.
that's what you ask for.
I might talk about the regional pairings. First game at Washington on Saturday has the 1 and number 2 ranked teams in Class 3A, and that is Silver Creek number 1 and Heritage Hills number 2. These teams met during the season, and Silver Creek won in overtime 82-78. Silver Creek's 2 losses were Boonville 69-66 and Lawrence Central 63-31. I had to double check that one. I
Must have had a bad day.
evidently maybe they really didn't show up for that game. Heritage Hills' other 2 losses in addition to Silver Creek were Brownsburg 72-54, Lafayette Jeff 78-69. Silver Creek advanced to the regional by beating Madison 70-53 in the Corydon sectional. Heritage Hills won the Boonville sectional by winning over Evans Memorial 79-53. You want to pick some winners?
I had to say favorite would be Silver Creek. They're
Okay,
pretty solid.
even though they're playing Heritage Hills.
Heritage Hills had a good run. They were in the football state finals, and some of those kids are over there playing basketball as well. But you throw those numbers out when you get to here, so it's
That's true.
you could guess 51 to 49% and be wrong. So.
Do you know anything about Silver Creek?
No, I don't know a lot about them. I don't get down there and follow them, but I just know
Sure.
they're a solid basketball team, and they have been for the last few years. So
Yeah.
I know they have a big kid, I think, inside. So
They're
Okay.
north of Louisville. On
Just straight up,
65?
yeah, in Clark County, just right over the top of the river. So.
Yeah.
Get off at the. Don't get me right. I'll get the wrong answer, but it's got a. I think it's got a
Yeah, I can see
Scottsburg exit. No, the one south of the
one
Scottsburg.
south of that.
The Scottsburg exit. So I have to get all the Scottsburg because my golfing buddy likes Sonic, so he always has to go get Route 44 Cherry Limeade at the Sonic. So
It should be a great game, though, between those two. I mean,
yeah, I would think anytime you get to the region, as when we went and played at Southport, there's good competition no
Sure.
matter where they're coming
yes.
from, and
Yes.
you just hope you're on your game on that day, because it just takes one bad day to be your bad day, and that's not a good day to be your bad
Yeah,
day.
you
So
don't, no tomorrow, is there? And,
No, this is it.
Game, right.
Nothing to leave behind here.
In the
All
second
those
game
cliches.
Saturday, Greensburg, ranked number 3 in the Class 3A poll, will meet Washington. Greensburg 23-2, won at Spartan Bowl with victories over Connersville 65-49 and South Dearborn in the title game 67-49. The Pirates' 2 losses were to Southport 62-58 and to Bloomington South 75-48. Bloomington South is 26-0 right now.
There's a reason why they're number 1 in 4A.
I guess so.
So they're pretty solid.
Washington 20-5 won the sectional at Vincennes, winning over Sullivan 69-60. During the season, Washington lost to Bar Reeve 61-36, to Heritage Hills 81-59, to Jasper 44-43, to Vincennes 65-61, and Evans Memorial 70-60. So I guess on paper you would favor Greensburg?
Well, we'll at least root for them. They're in our conference and
Sure.
they knocked us out. So you like to see the team that beat you go a little bit further down the tournament road. So
Like I said earlier, I think they'll represent our area well.
yeah, they will. They're a solid top 6.
Yes,
I
sure.
don't know if they go much deeper than 6, but their top 6 is quality and
Well,
can play.
we'll take the 4 they leave off then, or what the number is.
Pretty high-powered regional there, though. That
Yes. I
3
mean,
ranked teams.
Silver
and-
Creek's in the 75 range in offense. And Heritage Hills is up close to that too. So those refs will be.
Well, and Washington's playing on their home court, so
Yes.
that's an advantage for them as
But
well.
they
So
have 5 losses, so I guess.
their 5 losses might be better than some of those other wins. So
That's
you
right.
never know.
Okay, and those games are at 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 noon, and 8 p.m. And I put local time in there because they're Central Time Zone, so that means
They're a little different down
push
there.
them back up there to 11, 1, 9. Yeah. So, but Greensburg will stay overnight if they win. Their bus driver.
I'm
told me.
assuming they're probably going down Friday night.
They are. Friday late morning, the bus driver told me, he said it's a 3-hour drive from Greensburg. And he said the kids will work out Friday afternoon, stay all night, and then play Saturday morning.
And I assume if they win, they'll play Saturday night. And stay
I
all
guess
night
so.
Again.
I think that's how it works. If you win
I
in the
assume
morning.
they'll stay all night if they win again. Maybe not. I don't know. Be over about 9 or get back about 1 or 2 in the morning, I guess. But
Well, it'd be a nice problem, though, for you to figure out if we were in it.
I was hoping we were in that problem.
I know.
We could have a rally.
I was
at 2 in the
hoping we were in Washington right now, headed back from the meeting. So
Well, yeah.
maybe next year.
Next year, right. Yeah. We might look at the wrap-up of area teams and their section of play. At Muncie Central, Richmond won its first game 55-48 over Greenfield Central, and then lost to Muncie 60-54. New Palestine was the sectional winner, 54-53 in the title game over Muncie Central. Richmond's record, 17 wins, 8 losses. Second sectional win in a row, and didn't they win at Richmond last year?
2 years ago, I think.
Didn't they?
I don't recall.
They knocked us out 1 year. They beat
that was
Mount
last-
Vernon and New Pal, and I think that was 2 years ago, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I really believe that.
They knocked us out in the opening round, but I think Mount Vernon got him last year in the finals.
Okay, they may have, right. Yeah.
So-
But they took us out, didn't they, in the sectional?
We could have been very competitive in that sectional as well.
Yeah, I
all
think
of our
so.
old sectional friends in that, and people last year when it was announced we were dropping from 4A to 3A, thought, well, this is going to be easy. I said, no, it's not. It's no easier. That group is no easier than the group we just left.
Wouldn't matter if he went to 2A, there are some very good teams at the
Exactly.
top of 2A as well. So
Sure, right. At Spartan Bowl, Rushville finished its season at 6-18, losing 51-48 to South Dearborn. Cambridge City, 14-9 on the season, won 59-40 at the Hagerstown sectional, but lost the next game to Shenandoah, 58-37. Shenandoah went on to win the sectional by downing Northeastern 54-42 in the title game. Shenandoah must be a pretty good team because Northeastern, I thought,
yeah, I
played
think
well.
last I knew Shenandoah was at the top of their class. So they're solid. They'll have one coming off the bench that couldn't play this year, next year. Then see if that makes them any better or not. So
Okay.
Somebody we know.
Union County finished with a 5-18 record as they lost in the sectional to Hagerstown 41-33. Centerville, 6-13 season record for those guys. They lost to Cambridge City 59-40 at Hagerstown. Franklin County won 8 and lost 13 games. The Wildcats lost to Batesville 47-38 in the Connersville sectional. And the Spartans won number 14 in their win over, help me here.
Lawrenceburg.
Thank you. I don't know why I left that out. And then the win over Lawrenceburg, 44-30, and then they lost in the sectional to Greensburg, of course, 65-49. That went on to win. Here are the events this week at the middle school. Their winter sports winding down. The girls' red basketball team ends the season Thursday at Franklin County. The girls' white team has already ended their season. The wrestling team is home Tuesday with Rushville and goes to Hagerstown Thursday. Both begin at 5:30, and that ends their season. And I think middle school, Trent Liggett is up there as their athletic director.
Yeah, he and I together,
Right.
okay, those two
and
sports.
I think they have a softball game on April the 7th, and that's new for the middle school. First year for softball, isn't it?
No, they had club softball last year. This is the first year it's
Okay.
actually classified as a school team, but they did have a team last year. They went either 12-0 or 15-0, so hopefully
Wow.
they'll
Yeah,
continue to get better and work at their craft a little bit and help us out at high school when they get here.
absolutely.
And some of them are there now. A lot of them were 8th graders that played last year. So
Okay, yeah. So spring sports right around the corner.
track started this past weekend, and they got
An
another meet
indoor
this
thing at
Yep.
East Central?
They have another
Okay.
indoor meet this week at Anderson University on Saturday, and
Okay,
won't be long. We'll be playing outside at sports. It starts during spring break week.
so watch out for weather.
I hope you got the dome over the field so we can name it the French Chamel Dome, and we'll just play everything on the inside.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, you're a little concerned about the weather because of the winter weather. It's been
I
so
do worry
nice.
about it. Sometimes
Yes,
you worry
I mean,
when the winter's nice. The spring might be
keeps you up nice.
might be terrible. I'm hoping it just continues to get better from today, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So, still got a lot of March left.
Yes, there is.
The
Right.
early part of April's not always any better, but as long as it's dry, we can get outside and play as long as it's not too cold. So,
Sure.
I'm sure softball will go outside today, and I know baseball's having open workouts today, and they're going outside. So, track's already been outside. You can run outside no matter what. Just dress warm. So.
And the spring sports end sometime in June with the
Yeah, baseball's the last one that finishes up. Track state finals are right at the beginning of June, and softball's in June, and baseball's
Okay.
in June. Golf might be the latest, I guess, maybe even later than baseball.
Okay.
They're all right there in June. Tennis is towards the end of May, when the sectional starts right in the middle of the track sectionals. So it depends on how far the girls go, but it's the
yeah.
track sectional on Tuesday and Thursday, tennis sectional on Wednesday and Friday, and
You're
we'll go from there.
hosting.
Those three things.
Okay,
Girls track, boys track, and girls tennis sectional.
that's
So,
good.
all right in the same week, so
Well, you get it over with that way. And,
next long week, but it'll be all right.
yeah,
It's outside, as long as the weather's cooperating.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it'll. Baseball has like 20-some games, do they play?
yeah, they can play 28 games. Softball
28?
can play 28 games. So
Okay.
some of them are double. Got a couple double headers. Our conference went away from double headers a couple years ago, so we got a lot of single games, Mondays and Thursdays, home and away, and so we're trying to get some of the schools to get to Saturday. We don't have many Saturday games. Baseball used to be double headers on Saturdays. And
Yes.
Then the teams that we used to play had Friday night double headers with Pendleton and Shelbyville, and all those guys had Friday night double headers, so they didn't want to play on Saturday. Well, now they don't have to have double headers, so we're trying to get some of them to move to Saturdays. But we'll see if that works out. We got at least one that's moved. Trying to get some more.
That's good. That's good.
So,
Who might be strong in our conference in baseball this year?
well, typically Central's been good and Batesville's been good. Can't say where we'll be. We'll be young again. We lost some kids. We got a couple pitchers coming back, but we have some young kids coming back. And obviously the middle school kids were pretty good. I don't think they lost a game last year in middle school either. But then again, you're talking about freshmen playing 8th graders last year. So, if they can have a good showing at the JV, that'd be great. I don't know if any of them are going to be able to play at the varsity level. That's up to Michael and Eric. And Jason Cloyd's helping out again this year. And we'll see. We just hired Mike Baum as the JV coach, or we've recommended Mike Baum to be the JV coach. Hopefully he'll be approved at the board meeting tomorrow night. We'll be rolling.
Sounds like pretty good staff there for that.
I think they all enjoy it, so they're all good with the kids too, so that's a good thing. So
Then the football late August starts.
very 1st of August. About the first couple of days of August, practice starts.
Oh, okay.
Girls golf will start the last week of July or the first week of August, depending on where the calendar falls. Football's about 3 days after that. So
August 21st is football.
That's the first home game.
Mm-hmm.
That's Richmond. So you back it up about for 2 weeks. So about August 7th that week we'll start. So right in there.
What
all
will
of
be
them.
happening during the summer months as far as
They all better be in the workout room and working out. So.
if they know what's good for them?
Well, you like to think that all of our kids would take advantage of it. So football, they can have 12 days of activities. So they can do things with helmets and shoulder pads for 12 days out in the summertime. So they can go play on 7-7 or whatever they want to do. And we'll see what the new coach, Justin Jackson, has in mind. And maybe a lot of just our own selves to start with to get everything in as much as you can in the summertime. So and Coach Brown and Coach Harder will probably do most of their stuff in June and take a little bit of July off outside of lifting and doing those things. So
4 home football games?
5, I believe, this year.
5? But you did something with Batesville.
I did. We flopped. We're going back to Batesville, so that'll give us 5 home and 5 on the road, counting the scrimmage.
You count the scrimmage as a game.
Well, I mean, otherwise you only got 9. So
That's what I was trying to say.
you got another gate, but Monrovia didn't think we were supposed to be playing them until I pulled the contract out. So we'll see. We're maybe looking at jumping somewhere else real quick, but. They got a new AD last year, and he couldn't find the contract. So when I scanned it to him, he'd already got another thing without calling and asking me. I'm like, I got one right here in my file. Uh-oh. So we've been doing a little negotiation here the last 2 to 3 weeks. So
You'll win.
I'm going to get us a place to play for a scrimmage, whether it's with Monrovia and Brown County or South Dearborn and Milan. It's going to be one of them two. So the year after this, we're going to do a jamboree with our conference schools. So back to the old jamboree days. So we'll have 2 different sites with 4 schools playing at one site and 4 schools playing at another site. And we'll use that in Mission. They'll play for conference dues and conference trophies and all those things. So.
Well, before we end the program and talk about basketball, I mean, you just flip the schedule for next year?
Nobody's changed so far. Nobody's called and said they want out. We did have a team from Ohio called me, wanted to bring their kids over and play, but they don't want to do it next year. They said they know it might take a couple years, so we'll look at it. But
sure.
So this depends on the dates and the time. So
right.
Currently, it's all the same.
So
the girls is not. We're not in the Rumble on the River,
Yeah,
so
I
we're
know
looking
you
for the
told
girls,
us.
and we're going to get Columbus East is off, and so we got a school talking to us for a 1-year tournament. They need a team for a year, so we may opt in, but Coach Harder's thinking about it.
Okay.
So,
Then Columbus East.
we got a couple of schools there, if we can figure out the dates and the games. So
Be nice to get that off of that Friday night with Greensburg.
sometimes it just doesn't work out very well. So,
Makes it hard for
it does.
we
and
can't
then,
be in 2 places, and we
you know,
certainly
when you-
like bringing
when you
people
talk-
everything.
When we talked with Coach Thompson, sometimes it's not necessarily best for everybody, but it's best for the girls or for that team
Sure.
in particular. And sometimes you just can't help it. They only have so many days open when you figure out who you want to play, and we only have so many days open, and it's trying to find a day that works with all of us. And not everybody understands it sometimes. And so for right now, we're trying to work because we got some blocks in there that we need to bust up a little bit, but nobody wants to give up that home game to go back and back. So we'll work on it still. It's just a constant, ever-going thing. So, but it takes more than one team sometimes to make that change. Sometimes it involves 2 or 3 teams moving games to help you out. That can be a little complicated at times.
Sure.
You planning any changes to any of the facilities? Do any of them need upgrading or?
No, we're always looking for things to do. So I always got my wish list and my wants list. But hopefully here shortly the field house will be open and we'll
Yes.
be ready to utilize it. And they're working on the inside. They were pouring some gravel outside in the courtyard today. Maybe they're going to get ready to pave a little bit. I don't know. So, but it's still moving. There's still people working in there. So it's not quite done yet. So
And your office moves into there?
we're going to be somewhere in there.
You will make yourself hard to find, don't you?
No, I don't mind
okay.
being out. I don't mind being out there.
It's real easy now. See Mandy before you even walk in the building.
Right.
Yep. So
Thanks, Brent, for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And,
well, I'm glad to be here. Hopefully we'll get one of our spring coaches here next Monday.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate it. Sam, final word here?
No, just always glad to have Brent with us.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Good night.